here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. You guys have been so hyped for this video. It seems like every other comment on my channel is, can't wait to see your cash stuffing for your sinking funds. Because I changed things up this month, and rather than putting money into my sinking funds every week, instead I held back a little bit of money from every paycheck and just set it off to the side and decided I was going to try stuffing everything all at once at the end of the month. There's been some growing pains with this process for sure. I didn't end up with quite as much money as I kind of expected that I would. Of course, you know, with inconsistent paychecks, or rather inconsistent income, that tends to happen anyway, right? It's really hard to kind of gauge how much money you're going to make when you don't necessarily make the same amount of money every single week. But then also, because a lot of my sinking funds started out the month empty, when it came to things popping up that I typically would have had to pull money out of those sinking funds, I was like, well, now what? What do I do? Because I don't have money set aside in my sinking funds, and because I wasn't adding money to those sinking funds every week, it wasn't just a scenario where I could add the money I needed to that fund that week and then immediately take it back out. So instead, I was going into my little stash of cash a lot to pull cash for those things. In the long run, it doesn't really matter, except when it came to like tracking the transactions and things, it was a little bit sketchy. Plus, I decided that I am going to, let me just flip back to this calendar here. I'm going to have this last paycheck in November actually, instead of being a last paycheck in November, I'm going to consider it my first paycheck in December. So I had a week less to collect money than I originally anticipated. Also, there's been quite a bit of like Christmas shopping going on, and I blew through my Christmas budget super fast, and we're not even in December yet. So the odds of me needing more money for Christmas are pretty high. So things aren't going to look exactly like I thought this month in terms of sinking funds. Like I said, I don't have quite as much money as I thought I did, or as I thought I would. Plus, I'm going to need to add extra money to my Christmas sinking fund, which I wasn't planning on. So just kind of bear with me as I go through this process. It doesn't quite look what I expected it to look like. I think it'll still be good, and I think I'm still going to continue to try to do it this way in the future. For December, I don't know, you guys. I might just completely revamp all of my sinking funds and like unstuff all of my sinking funds and start fresh at the beginning of January. But for now, we're just going to try to make what I've got going on here work. We're going to try to figure out what I spent in December, although my tracking has been real sketch. When it comes to my sinking funds, I'll be honest, you guys, I sort of have that senioritis thing. You know how at the end of every month I get just like impatient and I start half-assing my budget because I'm ready to just start a new month? Kind of feel like I've been that way for my budget in general because I'm itching for January to start and get a fresh start. So I haven't been great about tracking my sinking funds. I've been going into my sinking funds and taking cash out and not writing down what I spent. So trying to figure out the transaction log is going to be a little iffy. I'm just going to kind of limp along, make it work, and then, like I said, come January, I think we're going to start completely fresh and unstuff everything, maybe rearrange some things. My main priorities for getting these cash envelopes here stuffed is making sure I have enough money for Christmas, being on track to celebrate my kids' birthdays the first week in January, or the first couple of weeks in January, and make sure my medical sinking fund is trued up, make sure that I have a little bit of money in every one of my sinking funds, even if it's just like $1 that I add. I don't want any of my sinking funds to be empty. So, with that being said, this was a long intro, and this video's dark. I still can't figure out the lighting. Every time I think I have it figured out, I mess with something or I change something to try to make it better, and I feel like it makes it worse. So I'm doing my best, friends. So let's go ahead and start by writing out all of my sinking fund categories. We're going to put a beginning balance in. We're going to put some cash into my categories and figure out exactly what we're going to add, how much we spent, and get an ending balance. It's a little bit wonky, like I said, because I'm doing things differently, but we're going to figure this out together. So we're going to start out with my funds. I'm just going to kind of go through each one, write down the categories, and I'm going to flip back to the previous month to get my ending balance at the previous month, which will be the beginning balance here for November. Okay, so I pulled my sinking funds page from October so that I could get my ending balances. That was kind of where we left off the last time we checked in, and so the ending balances for October will be the beginning balances for November. So my Camper Electric ended with nothing. Campsite was $1,400, and that's the other thing. We had so much spending happen. A lot of our sinking funds are empty, and we don't have a ton of money right now in sinking funds, just because the end of the year is kind of where we drain our campsite sinking fund, we drain our Christmas sinking fund. There was some other spending that happened, so I feel like January is going to be a good time to do a refresh. And that's, you know, the start of the year is a good time to reevaluate your goals and your needs and everything, so I'm looking forward to doing that. $965. Okay, what did I do? Did I skip something? I did. Okay, that would be why. So I'm just gonna stick. How did I skip celebrations? I don't understand how I did that. I'm gonna stick it down here, and of course this is not an erasable pen, so everything's all messed up already. Luckily I just bought a ton of whiteout, so it's not a problem to fix it, but I gotta start paying better attention. So Camper Electric has 0, campsite $1,400, car maintenance $347, car registration $200, celebrations had $100. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, this guy's empty. That would be why. Alright, it goes this way, so I'm gonna get rid of this and this. Alright, let's try that again. So celebrations is gonna start with 100. Right? Yes, okay. Christmas had 965. Clothing had nothing. Holidays had 150. 140 for home insurance. Home projects had nothing. Medical had, oh, see, almost skipped to another one. Hunting had 40. Medical had 43. Pets had 108. School had 47. Spending had 8. Subscriptions had 95. Okay, so I think that's right. Everything kind of got all wonky and off kilter there, but I think that's our beginning balances. So the first thing I'm going to do then is count up how much I actually have here that I've just sort of been setting aside. So we have 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 20, 40, 60, 80, 500, 20, 40, 60, 80, 600, 20, 40, 60, 80, 700, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 95, 800, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're starting out with $806. And I should probably put that down on a post-it note or something because I'm going to forget it. Alright, $806. So like I said, less than what I thought. But some things have already been paid for. Like, you know, if I needed something for clothing and I didn't have money in my clothing sinking fund, I took it from this stack of cash. So it's probably about the same amount as usual. I just don't notice when I'm doing it every week because I put it in and then I take it back out. But it seems like more, I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, so we have $806 to add to our sinking funds. And I can tell you right now, I'm going to want to put at least $300, maybe even $400 into Christmas because I haven't done stocking stuffers yet. We have 2 big meals that we're hosting in December related to the holidays. I still have some Christmas shopping to do. So the last thing I want to have to do is swipe a credit card for Christmas. And so a good portion of this is going to go right into my Christmas sinking fund. So again, not what I originally intended, but we're going to make it work. Okay. What do I need to do? I guess what I need to do is start at the beginning with Camper Electric and see what we spent and how much we want to add. So my Camper Electric fund started with nothing. We obviously haven't added anything yet, and we didn't take anything away. So whatever we add will be our ending balance. And I think for Camper Electric, we're just going to throw $20 in there. You know what? I have my cash tray that I purchased, this little guy from Amazon. Let's make use of it. So we mostly have 20s here, but put the ones in there. 5s. 10. A whole big stack of 20s and 50s. Yeah, that'll work nicely. I don't know how well you guys can see, but it's going to make it a lot easier, I think, for me. Okay, so we're going to add $20 to our Camper Electric fund. Today is... What is today? I have no idea. Okay, 11/27. We're going to deposit $20. And I did not sit down and come up with a plan at all. We're going to fly by the seat of our pants here and hope that everything works out in terms of denominations and that I don't end up with no money left by the time I get down to pets and then have to rearrange things. We're just going to go with it. So the amount then in my Camper Electric fund is $20. And I'll just slide that in here. I don't even know if I'm going to have a Camper Electric fund moving into 2021. So this money might just, no, 2022. Oh my gosh, you guys. Just now getting used to saying 2021 and it's almost over. This may just end up being reallocated when I do my refresh, but for now it's in there. Alright, campsite. Let me write. We added 20. We didn't spend anything for a total of 20. For campsite, this guy's empty. We took that full $1,400 out. This is what I mean about how I didn't update my cards. Like, I know I took the $1,400 out because it's empty, and I know that I paid it, but I didn't write in that we took it out. So, I need to just... What did I say the date was? I'm all over the place. 11/27, we're just going to deposit $50, I think. And so that'll be a total of $50. So I spent the full $1,400. We did pay our campsite fee for the year, and actually we paid a little bit more than the $1,400 because the price had gone up and I didn't realize it. That's fine. Anyways, the fact of the matter is we spent $1,400. We added $50 just now, so that means we have an ending balance of $50, which I need to put in there. So campsite's getting $50. All right, car maintenance. So car maintenance started with $347. It still has $347. That means we didn't spend anything. We're going to add, I think, just $20 today. Again, because I'm going to do a whole refresh. I would typically add much more than just $20 in a month, but just kind of getting these filled for now. I can always go back in and add more if I get to the end of my little cash stack here, or if I get to the end of my funds and there's still cash left, I can always go back and add more. But for now, I just want to make sure I'm adding something to each one because I didn't plan ahead, which I should have, but I didn't. So we're going to add 20. And I'm going to just count this and make sure that we do indeed have that 367. So 50, 100, 50, 200, 50, 70, 90, 310, 330, 350, 360, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67. So 367 is our ending balance then. What did I say my starting balance was? 347. Oh, we got the 347 here, so this is the $20 I just added. I'm sorry if this is confusing. I'm pretty much confusing myself here at this point. Alright, sorry about that. I got a phone call, so I had to kind of shift gears. So that was car maintenance. Next we have car registration, and this I definitely spent money out of this month because we went ahead and renewed my husband's driver's license, as well as the tags on our car. His birthday's not till January, but we got the paperwork early, so I just went ahead and sent it all in, paid for it all so that it's done. So that means then that we started with $200. We spent a total of $178. I'm going to add another $20 in here today. Which is going to give us a total of $42. We started with $200, we added $22, we spent $178, that gives us an ending balance of $42. So I'm going to add that 20, 40, 41, 42 for car registration. As you can see, that's a once a year thing. It costs us about $200 a year, so I don't need to put a ton of money into this sinking fund every month. So then the other thing I need to do is write in my transactions. I think I'm going to wait though and do all of my transactions for November at the end rather than flipping back and forth 100 times, just for the sake of ease. I've got 500 things going on. My phone keeps going off. My kids are home. I keep getting distracted. So I feel like one task at a time is the way to go here. So next up then we have celebrations. So we're going to jump down here because I missed it when I was writing in my categories. So celebrations is empty. We started out with $100, and we spent that full $100. So we're going to add $200 in here because I've got my kiddos' birthdays the first couple of weeks in January. Robbie's is January 8th, Austin's is January 13th. I will be adding more money into my sinking funds before their birthdays, but I just want to make sure that we can get them a cake and have some cash to do gifts or whatever. Actually, we typically just do cash as gifts for birthdays. We don't go all out for birthdays, but even so, I want to make sure I have some money for them. And then my husband's birthday is also... How did I write that on the wrong line? You guys, I am a mess. My husband's birthday is also in January, so we'll be adding more money for celebrating his birthday at the beginning of January as well. So I spent $100. We added $200, or we will momentarily, so that's going to be a total of $200. I really should pull these pages off instead of trying to write right here next to the discs, but whatever. So we are going to deposit $200. Might bite me in the butt because I wasn't starting with that much to begin with, but we'll see. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. Okay, so that's celebrations. And again, I will write down the deposits, or I'm sorry, the transactions at the end. Alright, next then is Christmas. We started out the month with $965. Right now we have $129 left. So we spent a lot, and I need to get my calculator to find out exactly how much. So we started with $965. We have $129 left. That means we spent $836. I don't even know what all I got for that, you guys. It seems like it went really quickly. And it also seems like no matter how much I budget every year, it's never enough. So next year I'm going to have to raise the budget or spend less or both. But yes, we spent $836. We still have quite a bit of stuff to buy, which is why I'm going to add quite a bit of money in here. I think I'm going to add $300. Honestly, I would like to do more than that, but given how much we started out with, I don't want to completely drain it. So we started with $965. We're going to add $300. Shoot. We spent $836, so that's going to give us $429. So hopefully that'll be enough to do everything we need to do. If not, then I guess we'll have to cut back in other places. So $300 is what I need to add here. 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. And then, oh, we just have 150 left, so we'll skip that. 20, 40, 60, 80, 300. Oh my gosh, you guys, we're already running out of money. I don't know what I'm going to do. But it is what it is. Sometimes, there's not enough to go around, and that's the reality. So we'll just have to figure it out. All right, 429 is what we're looking for here. 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. All right. 429. I'm just going to write in that we deposited 300. Yeah. 429. All right. I'm going to skip ahead to medical because I know that we need to add some money to medical for sure. Like, that's the other big priority. And just so that I can make sure that I have enough money, we're going to do that. So, I've already trued this up. So it says we're starting with an $80 deficit here, but I've already put that $80. I took it right off the top of the stack and deposited it. So we're actually starting with zero. We're just gonna say that we deposited 80 to bring it back to 0. So, all right, for medical, we started with 43, we spent 80, and we're gonna add $100 to medical. Is that what I want to do? Let's see. It's not going to leave us very much if I do that. Let's just add 50 to medical. If anything else comes up for medical, we do have our emergency fund, or I can pull from one of these other categories. I just want to make sure that, you know, we're covered and it's not empty. So we're going to deposit today $50 for a total of $50. So yeah, the beginning balance was 43. We added 50. We took away 80. No, we didn't. We took away 123. Let's just make sure that's accurate. So 43 plus 50 minus 123 still leaves us in the negative. What did I'm confusing myself. Oh, I figured it out. We didn't add 50. We added the 80 plus the 50. So we added 130. This is the last time I will use a pen that's not erasable for this. So 43 plus 130 minus 123 is 50. Okay. Yep, that is accurate. So we got $50 in there to start the month. Alright, now we can skip back to clothing. Let's just go ahead and see what we have left. We have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 30, 35, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So we have 146. How many categories do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so $16-ish to each one of these funds if we wanted to do it evenly. Yikes, you guys. So I feel like the sinking funds experiment was a fail. I feel like I didn't do this properly, or I should have waited to start this process until I had money in all of my sinking funds. But because I started out my sinking funds and some of them were empty, I think that's where I went wrong. So here's the thing about financing and budgeting. You never know if something's going to work for you until you try it. So while this has kind of been a fail, I think I'm still going to continue it. I feel like there's just going to be a couple of rocky months where things are a little bit up in the air. So I also tried to stretch us pretty thin this month with making sure to send extra debt payments every month, like higher extra debt payments. So because of that, we had less money to work with for sinking funds. So if you guys are watching this and you're like, that was really dumb, Jessie, you shouldn't have done that, now you're struggling, just know that even though I'm struggling, I still think that overall this is a good idea. I just kind of failed in the execution of it. So there's that. Do with that information what you will. So for clothing, it started out empty and we didn't spend anything. Technically, we did spend money on clothing this month, but I just took it from other places because we didn't have any money in our clothing sinking fund, and that's fine. I don't get too caught up in semantics with where the money comes from, just so long as we're not swiping a credit card and accumulating a bunch of debt, I'm happy. So we're going to add $6 to clothing. Just because clothing is not our priority right now. But I don't want to leave it empty. I want to add something into it. So that's that $6. That's what I said, right? Yes. For a total of $6. And some of you might think, like, what's the point? $6 isn't going to buy you a sock, let alone anything else. Well, every penny counts, and it'll add up when I add more next month. So $6 there. For holidays, this is another one that is pretty much empty. Well, not too bad. $48 in there. I could take this $48 and put it towards Thanksgiving because it ended up costing us more for Thanksgiving than I thought it would. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep the $48 in there. So we started out holidays with $150. We spent $102. We're going to add $5 to holidays. The reason being is that we don't have any holidays coming up anytime soon, so I don't need a lot of money in there. There's already $48 in there. I probably could have just skipped over this entirely, but like I said, I wanted to add a little something to all of my funds. Obviously, there is a holiday coming up. It's Christmas, but we have a separate sinking fund for Christmas. You guys know we've already been through that. So what did I say I added here? Was it 5? For a total of 53. And I did just count on my fingers because that's the kind of girl I am. So $53 is the total we're looking for here. 20, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. Okay. So that's holidays. Home insurance. This is one of these that I'm going to have to kick into high gear with the new year, but for now, I'm just going to add $20 to it. We don't have to pay home insurance until June, so we have some time to catch up on this one, but I am definitely behind on my home insurance fund. So 140 plus 20 is 160. We started out the month with that 140. We added 20. We didn't spend anything for a total of 160, and I forgot to total up my holidays fund, so what did I say that was? 150 plus 5 minus 102 is 53. Is that right? Is that what I said? Yep, okay. So home insurance is supposed to be 160. 20. Did I not add the 20? I guess I didn't. Okay. 50, 100, 20, 40, 60. Perfect. Home insurance is stuffed. Next is home projects. This is another one that I really want to bump up in the new year. For now, we're just going to add $10 to it. Home projects has been sitting empty for a really long time. Pretty much since I created this fund, it's been sitting empty, so it's nice to deposit something in there finally, which is the whole reason I decided to do this sinking fund thing once a month instead of every week, because I was finding constantly that I was skipping over the same funds over and over again. And by doing everything once a month, I could make sure that everything got more evenly distributed. Okay, so hunting started out the month with $40. It is sitting at 16 now. So that means we spent 24. What did I do here? Yeah, we spent 24. I forgot this again, you guys. We spent 0 for home projects for a total of 10. We spent $24 for hunting. I'm going to add 20 more. because we are still in hunting season. My husband's still going to need money for things, I'm sure. So we're going to deposit 20 for a total of 36. 20, 30, 35, 36. Let me go ahead and write that in before I forget. And just double check. So 40 plus 20 minus 24 is 36. Perfect. Alright, next up then is medical, but we already took care of medical. For pets, this fund has been sitting untouched for quite a while. We haven't needed to take the cats to the vet, luckily. They're all caught up on all of their appointments and everything, and they're healthy, so that's good news. We're just going to add $5 to this then, for a total of, I shouldn't need to do a calculator for that, but I do, 113. So we'll add that 5. And we'll count this up. 50, 70, 90, 100, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. Perfect. Alright, so we have 1, 2, nope, I just did this one. Plus 5, spent nothing, 113. So we have 3 funds left, and I have $80 left. So I think I'm actually going to make some changes and put a little bit more into my medical sinking fund. So rather than 130, I think I'm going to change this to 150. Which will give us a total of 70 in there. And I'm going to add this extra 20 that I have into medical, just so that we're covered if anything comes up. Fixed that. And then we'll add 20 to school, 20 to spending, and 20 to subscriptions, which is great. So for school, it's actually worked out better than I thought. I would have loved to add more money to all of these sinking funds, but in the end, everything is going to have a little bit of money in it, and yeah, I think it'll be okay. So for school, we started out the month with $47. We didn't spend anything. We added 20, 11.27, deposit, $20. Sorry, I'm shaking my camera. 67 is going to be our total then. 20, 40, 60, 65, 66, 67. So we added 20 for a total of 67. Perfect. Spending is sitting empty because anytime I put even a single penny in here, I immediately spend it because I have a shopping addiction. So we started with 8. So that means I spent 8. And we're going to add 20. For a total of 20. And hopefully this will get a chance to build up before I just immediately spend it, but we shall see. And lastly then we have subscriptions. My subscription sinking fund started out with 95. It currently has 32. So 95 minus that 32 means we spent 63. And we're going to add 20. So 95 plus 20 minus 63 is 52. So we'll go ahead and add that 20, 20, 40, 50, 51, 52. And I just need to mark that here then. All right, so that's gonna go in there. That takes care of everything. So now every single one of my funds has some money in it. Now, some of these, clothing, for example, has $6. That means when my Stitch Fix box comes this month, I can't buy anything unless I'm gonna take it out of my spending money, which is actually what I did last month. And that's okay because I don't need any clothing. Everybody in my family is set for clothing. There's going to be some socks and underwear buying, but that's going to come out of Christmas because that's going to be stocking stuffers and Christmas gifts. I do that every year. And, you know, we don't need coats or anything like that. We're all set. So the fact that there's only $6 in this clothing sinking fund isn't really that big of a deal. The other fund that's looking pretty low is... what is this one? Our home projects fund, but $10 is more than we had in there before, so I'm okay with that. Everything else is okay. I'm okay with this. So, the only other thing left to do then is get my totals, which I'll do momentarily, and then flip over and write in my transactions, which there's not really that many. So, let me go ahead and add up, well, I have my beginning balance total here already, because I would have added that up last month. What did I do with my paper? Oh, here it is. So the amount that I started the month with was $3,643. Okay, so this went all sorts of wonky, but after calculating like 10 times, because I kept getting it wrong, I started the month with $3,643. We added $898. We spent $2,834, which means that we have $1,695 in our sinking funds right now. So now I'm going to flip over and just fill in my transaction log really quickly. So I'm just going to look at which categories I spent money in. So campsite. I'll flip back to campsite and pull my little card for my transaction info. So we started with $1,400 and we spent $1,400 on 10/26. Well, actually not 10/26. That's when I deposited. This is the one I didn't write down. I'm just going to say 11/1. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it was somewhere around there. The amount was $1,400, and we paid our annual fee. So that's that. I'll just stick my card back in here so that I have it for next time. Then we spent $178 for car registration. That was on 11/11. And that was for my husband's license and for car tabs. Next amount we spent was on Christmas. We spent over a couple of different transactions here. So we'll do Christmas. We started out with $965, so that was right here at the top of the card. We spent $520 on 10/31, and that was for gifts. We spent another $290 on 11/7 for more gifts. We spent $14 on the 12th for stuff at Dollar Tree. That was Christmas cards and some decor and some gift wrapping things. Also Christmas, we spent on the 12th $12 for stamps for Christmas cards. Alright, so that was it for Christmas. Next area we spent money on was holidays. We spent $102 on 11/17 for Thanksgiving food. So that takes care of that. Next up then we have hunting. We spent in a couple of transactions so we spent $15 at Dunham's. I don't even know what for. That's my husband's sinking fund, and that was on the 18th. And then he spent $9 at Tractor Supply the same day. So that takes care of hunting. For medical, we spent $123 on Austin's contacts on 11/11. So that takes care of medical. What else? We spent $8 from our spending envelope, and that was on 10/31. I don't even know what for. So I'm just gonna leave it blank because I didn't write in what it was for. And then for subscriptions, we spent $63 it says. So we spent $14 on Netflix on 10/31. Oops, this is not supposed to be Netflix. This is supposed to be the category, which is subscriptions. There's 14 for Netflix. And then $49 for my Stitch Fix renewal was on 11/11. Oops, I wrote this in the wrong place. I don't think I've ever used so much whiteout in a spread before. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to use a pen that wasn't erasable for this, but that's okay. So that was subscriptions. And then lastly, we had celebrations, which we said we spent $100, and that was over a couple of transactions. So this is celebrations. Okay, so on 11/7, we spent $60 for my birthday. And then on 11/18, we took the other 40 out to give as gifts for a birthday party that Austin went to. So that was all of my transactions. Now I'm all set and situated and ready for the new month, which I'm excited about. Overall, this little experiment in sinking funds didn't go quite the way I anticipated it, but I'm really happy overall that I'm doing it this way. I just need to tweak it a little bit, and Of course, the month ended up being a week shorter than I thought, plus we had some other things pop up, so even though it didn't go perfectly or as exactly as I expected it would, I'm still happy I did it, and I'm going to continue to do it this way moving forward. So if you liked this, please give it a big thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, leave me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. I'd love to have you come back, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!